And when focusing on your own analysis, you have to really get into the charts and ask yourself, what do you see? So right now I'm looking at a monthly uh, trend, and this is on the monthly time frame on gold. Just last month, everybody knows that gold took this huge rally, and now the price is currently at 49.96 per ounce. So when we look at this monthly trend, we can clearly see it's in an uptrend. And so I'm going to go down one more time frame and go to the weekly, and we can clearly see that gold is still on an uptrend. Now, when you identify the trend, you don't want to trade it against that. And so what I mean by that is, being that we can clearly see gold is on an uptrend, we don't want to take any sales. We don't want to take any sales because price is not showing us that gold is going to sell. Now, we do see this big rejection on the weekly time frame about 3 weeks ago when gold dipped to about 4,300 per ounce, and then it shot back up to 49.96. So what I would be looking for is for gold to either come to this green line right here and fill in this gap where we see this wick at, or I'm going to be looking for, and when I say, hold on, I'm going to be looking for gold to come to this green line and fill in that gap and take a buy from here, or I'll be looking for gold to take a buy from about here, which is at the trend line at about 45.90. We're just going to stick with that round number. So I'm going to scroll down again, because when it comes to analysis, you want to make sure that you're seeing the whole picture and the whole ideal of what's going on. So as we can see on the daily, gold came down to 49.90, and then we've kind of just been trickling around that area going on 2 weeks. Now, if you know anything about trading, you know once price makes a big move, we have to allow the price to settle back out to figure out what it wants to do, you know, in regards to, does it want to take a buy or a sell? Because price can always change and decide to sell on gold, but we're not going to take a sell until that's what we can clearly see. So for me to be interested in a sell on gold, we would have to break that trend line at about 45.90, break it, retest, and then hold that area to let me know that gold wants to sell. But until I see that that's the case, I'm sticking with my bias as being bullish. So being that it's bullish at this current moment, I'm just going to move this green line around, okay? I would want to see gold break above about 51.15, break and retest this area, and then buy all the way back up to about this 50 to about this 54.80 area. So what we want to wait for is either gold to break around that 48.90 area, or we want to see it break above 51.15-ish. And if it breaks either of these areas, here or here, we want to wait until we get a break and retest, meaning that I'm going to show you, meaning that price looks something like this. Let's see if we can get a tool, meaning that price looks something like this, or something like this. So all I'm saying is during these areas, you see how it's breaking, it's retesting the area that it broke, and then it's continuing to sell, or it's breaking and it's retesting the area that it broke and it's continuing to buy. So before we can get in on gold and see any more movement on this pair, those are the two things that we kind of need to wait for. Until then, we're kind of just losing money in this range that gold has been in for about 2 weeks. Because I can guarantee you between this area, people have been losing money for this last 2 weeks. I can guarantee you because price has done nothing. You think it's going to sell and then it doesn't sell. You think it's going to buy and then it doesn't buy. That's why we have to wait for it to come out of this range. And when it comes out of this range, we want to make sure that it holds either of these levels so that we can get in for our trade. And that's basically my weekly outlook on gold. I'll follow up with you guys next week and we can touch base on this again. But don't continue to sit there and lose your money on gold. Be patient. Wait. In either way, whether it sells or buys, you can make money on it. You just have to be in at the right time. That's why they say trading is all about patience. The more patience you have, the more money you have the potential to make. And when you see these break and retests, that's when you want to scroll down to like your 4 hour and your 3 hour, and you want to look for patterns to print on the market. Excuse me. You want to look for patterns to print on the market so you can see whether you're getting double top, double bottoms, head and shoulders, knees and toes. No, I'm kidding, not knees and toes. But you get what I'm saying. Double top, double bottom, so that you can see what price really wants to do, because you can see right here in this area, it started to look like price was creating a double top, meaning that gold wanted to sell. However, because we're still in that range that I just showed you guys, gold is not truly doing anything but ranging. It's not doing anything but ranging within that zone that we just spoke about, because if it were going to do something, if gold were going to do something, it would break and retest these levels and hold it so that we can clearly make a move. Because as of right now, gold is just it's in a accumulation phase, because we had this big bullish movement over here, and so then we had this huge sell off, and then now we just have price sort of at this equilibrium where we're trying to decide what we want to do and balance out. And while it's in there, you can best believe that it's collecting orders and money from people, so that when it does get ready to buy or sell, it will be a big move. So just make sure you guys are on the lookout for that over the next couple of weeks. Like I said, we'll follow up again with this pair next week. But yeah, that's the weekly outlook for gold. As you can see, even with this week alone, it's Thursday market week, and the week's almost over, and you can see that gold has not really made any strides towards the bulls or the bears. And so that tells you that price is just accumulating. We're in an accumulation phase. So you have to let the price accumulate and decide what it wants to do before you make your move, so that you're not in the cycle with the other traders, just losing money. And it's always good to do a top-down analysis so that you can clearly see what's going on. Because if y'all see, we worked our way from the monthly to the weekly to the daily to the 4 hour. And setups on the 4 hour are really golden to me, but you have to start from top